If you're craving Asian comfort food, I have the perfect dish for you. A stir-fry rice cake recipe that was inspired by Din Tai Fung. And I always go for this dish, which is their Shanghai rice cake noodle stir-fry. It's chewy, it's savory, it's so delicious, and it comes together really easily. So we're gonna start by making the sauce first, and it's gonna act as a double purpose because we're gonna use it for the stir-fry and we're also gonna use it to marinate the meat. I mean, 2 in 1, right? So in a bowl, I'll start by adding 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, 2 tablespoons of Shaoxing wine. This is a Chinese cooking wine that you can find at any Asian market. If you don't want to use that, you can always substitute with orange juice or sherry. 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and half a teaspoon of sugar. Give it a mix. And now we're gonna use this sauce to marinate our chicken. So I sliced up 3 chicken thighs here, and it was about like a little over half a pound. And what I'm gonna do is add a tablespoon of our sauce along with 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. The cornstarch will help to tenderize our chicken, but later on when we cook it with all the vegetables and the rice cakes, it's gonna help to like thicken everything up too. And finally, a dash of black pepper. And then I'll just mix it up. Perfect. I'll let this marinate for about 15 minutes while I show you guys the rest of our ingredients. Now, the cooking process is gonna go by super fast, so I'll walk you through what else you need. So here's everything we need to cook up our rice cake stir fry. So for the vegetables, I'm using 1 whole bunch of bok choy. So you probably need like about 3 cups here. Chinese broccoli would work as well. I've seen that used before. And then I have shiitake mushrooms here. All I did was rehydrate them in warm water for about 5 minutes. And then for the rice cakes, these are Shanghai or even Korean rice cakes. You can find them at any Asian markets now. I also soak them in warm water for about 20 minutes to kind of soften up. Right before I use them, I'm gonna drain them. And then I'm gonna use half an onion that I've sliced, 3 garlic cloves minced, about 1 teaspoon of grated ginger, and a 1/4 cup of water. If you don't want to use water, you can always add chicken broth or chicken stock to add more flavor. So all the ingredients are going in my wok. First, I'm gonna start by adding some cooking oil into my hot wok. Then I'll stir fry the chicken for about 3 to 4 minutes until it's kind of cooked through. Next, I'll add my shiitake mushrooms, then my onions, garlic, ginger, give it another mix. Oh, it smells so good. But also, I need to re-season my wok because things are sticking. So when you're cooking with the wok, it's really important to keep it moving at all times. Then we toss in our rice cakes, bok choy, sauce, and water. I'll give it another mix, and then with the lid, I'm gonna cover it up and let the rice cake soak all the liquid and cook through. I've covered it and let it cook for about 3 minutes so that the duck could kind of soften up. And now everything looks really good. The rice cakes are soft, but now I'm just gonna let it kind of continue cooking for another 3 minutes so that the sauce can thicken up and everything could really come together. All right, you know this is done when the sauce becomes like a gravy and it fully coats the rice cake like this. It's piping hot, and I cannot wait to dig in. I'll garnish it with some cilantro leaves, and this is the perfect dish to serve for New Year's. Of course, we have to taste test. If you're feeling down in the dumps, it's time to make some dumplings. Today, I'm gonna be making some dumplings, aka pot stickers, all those little tiny purses of goodness. I'm making a traditional pork and cabbage filling because that's the most popular one and it happens to be my favorite. It's really quite simple. I'm starting with 1 pound of ground pork. This is an 80-20 blend, so you want it kind of fatty because it'll release more juice. And then to that, I'm adding about 2 cups of really finely minced Napa cabbage. The Napa cabbage is also gonna keep the filling nice and juicy. Then I'll add 4 cloves of finely minced garlic, 2 scallions that I also finely minced, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, 1 teaspoon of grated ginger, 1 tablespoon of kosher salt. Now, if you want to use soy sauce, you can, but I just feel like the salt really flavors it up more consistently. 2 teaspoons of sugar to balance it out, and finally, a dash of fresh ground pepper. And with my hands, I'll mix. So I'm mixing this with my hands because it gives me more control, and I can make sure that the cabbage and the onions get distributed evenly. Plus, you want it to become kind of a paste, like really pasty. And I can achieve that with my hands. The best kitchen tool you have. More pasty, more tasty. This looks really good. I'm ready to fill my dumplings, but first I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. So I have my dumpling filling station all set out. I have a large plate that I've dusted with some flour just to keep our dumplings from sticking to the plate, because trust me, that has happened and it was annoying. And then I have my dumpling wrappers. Of course you can make your own, but they sell these wrappers and they come in like 50 packs. That's so convenient and easy, and they taste delicious. Some water to help seal the wrapper, and then my little hack that makes life so much easier. I'm using a cookie scoop to scoop our filling into the wrappers. It's gonna keep my hands cleaner and it becomes more consistent that way. So I'm gonna grab a wrapper, scoop some of our pork filling, then I'll dip my finger into the water, just draw a line kind of to the top of the wrapper, and then I'll start folding. Now, how I like to fold the wrapper is going from the outside of each end in and crimp it until it seals, like this. This part's also really pretty therapeutic, but you just have to pay a little bit more attention. See, took my attention away and I messed it up. So the filling here will probably give you about 50. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to make 50 all at once right now while we're filming, but I will make as many as I can to fill up the plate, and then I'll show you guys how to cook it up. Last one. Ta-da! 16 dumplings per 5 minutes. I don't know if that's too slow or pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna be cooking this in a 2-step process. I have my nonstick pan, let it get hot on medium-high heat, and then I'll add about 2 tablespoons of oil. I'll layer my pot stickers in there, and then I'll add half a cup of water, and then I'll cover it with a lid for about 3 minutes. This way, the filling gets cooked through. Now I'll take the lid off, and then I'll just let the water evaporate and let the bottoms of the pot stickers fry up until they're a nice, beautiful, and crunchy golden brown. This will take about another 3 to 5 minutes. So here are our dumplings that I've plated. So now I'm gonna garnish it with some black sesame seeds, just for a little bit of interest, and some chopped green onions for color. Awesome. This looks like a beautiful dish to serve for New Year's, when your friends are over, your family is having dinner together. For the dipping sauce, all I did was add some soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, sesame oil, and some chili sauce, and just mix it up together. But it's that time where we give it a try. It's juicy, savory. You get the juiciness from the cabbage, and it's very sweet along with the pork. Oh man, this is good. Only have 15 minutes to cook today? Well, this light and healthy Asian comfort meal will come to the rescue. They're perfect for lunch or even a low-carb dinner, and everyone is gonna love them. Okay, I have all of my ingredients ready in my pretty pastel bowls, and I'm gonna show you how fast this all comes together. So first, we're gonna mix up our quick bulgogi sauce. So since I got 100% grass-fed ground meat, it'll absorb the flavor much quicker. So in a bowl, I'm gonna add 3 cloves of minced garlic, 2 teaspoons of grated ginger, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, 1 tablespoon of honey, 2 teaspoons of rice vinegar for a little bit of an acidy kick, and then a 1/4 cup of Sprouts low sodium soy sauce. And now you guys know what time it is. It's mix, mix, mix. And that's pretty much it for the sauce. If you guys want to save a little bit of this sauce for later to dip the lettuce wraps with, go ahead and preserve maybe like 2 tablespoons, but I also have a different dipping sauce for you later. So in a large skillet on medium-high heat, I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of cooking oil, and once it gets hot enough, I'm gonna add a pound of our ground beef. I'm gonna cook it and break the beef up into small little chunks. You want them to have varying sizes, like little pieces, big pieces, so it makes for a good bite. And once it looks about halfway cooked through, we're gonna pour in our quick bulgogi sauce. Let it finish cooking, the flavors will start to absorb into the meat, and I'm just gonna let it hang out on the skillet for about 5 minutes on low heat for the flavors to lock in. And then finally, I'm gonna garnish everything with some green onions. I'm using about 2 stalks that I chopped here, and about a tablespoon of toasted sesame seeds. Give it a final stir. This looks so beautiful. There's like speckles of green onions in there that gives it that brightness, and the sauce has really concentrated into the meat, leaving us with a very delicious kind of sticky but perfect sauce to coat the meat for our lettuce wraps. All right guys, now let's assemble. So I have my whole setup for our lettuce wraps here. On a platter, I just have some large butter lettuce, of course some kimchi, some sliced cucumbers for a little bit of a crunch. If you have radish or even like shredded carrots, that would work really well. I have some rice, some brown rice here, just to fill us up a little bit more, but if you wanna go no carbs, you can certainly just go with this half right here. And then our dipping sauce, which is just this gochujang mixture that I made. I'm gonna scoop some meat onto our platter, and I cannot wait to dig in because it smells and looks so good and refreshing. I'm gonna grab a lettuce, and then I like having a little bit of brown rice on mine. Scoop some in the middle here. A nice helping of our quick bulgogi, some kimchi, slice of cucumber. And then for the dipping sauce, I don't like to dunk it in there. I just like to kind of swipe a little bit, like this much on top. I'm gonna tuck everything in, wrap it up, and then take a big bite. Now, I have a deep love for a Vietnamese banh mi, so I'm gonna reimagine it into something more approachable. Here I have a thick slice of ciabatta bread, which you can find at any grocery store. I'm gonna cut it in half. It's nice and fluffy. I chose a ciabatta because it's nice and hearty, but it won't cut the roof of your mouth like your regular banh mi roll would. I hate when that happens. So now I'm gonna spread a sriracha aioli on top, which is just a mixture of mayo and sriracha. Then I'm gonna layer it with some baked tofu. I found this baked tofu at the store, and it's already seasoned with Chinese 5-spice, so it saves me a lot of work. These pre-marinated tofus are so good that you really won't miss any meat, I promise. Of course, if you guys don't like tofu, you can always substitute it with grilled chicken or grilled pork. Okay, so next I'm gonna layer it with a nice helping of pickled daikon carrots to give it some tang, and then some sliced cucumber that'll give it a nice fresh crunch, jalapeno slices to spice things up, and a few sprigs of cilantro. Close it up, and then with the extra aioli sauce, I'm gonna put it into my bento temple, which is the perfect little sauce container for our bento box. All right, now let's go ahead and assemble the top layer of our bento box. I'm gonna use this bento square. I'm layering the bottom of my box with some lettuce to make it beautiful. Then I'll place in our sandwich and fill in the gaps with some gorgeous tomatoes and our bento temple container. I'll seal it up and now we'll work on our second layer. For our bottom square, I'm gonna make this our snack/dessert compartment. All right, so with this little container right here, I'm gonna fill it up with some Greek yogurt. I like to jazz up my Greek yogurt, so I'm gonna add a little bit of chia seeds, hemp seeds for extra protein, and a little bit of matcha for flavor. And then on the side of it, we're gonna make like a rainbow fruit salad. I have some strawberries, mangoes. I shaped my mango into a rose because I feel like bentos are very artful and I like being creative with it. It's like that's part of the fun, you know? And then the next one, I'm gonna use some orange chunks, kind of disperse them out. So you still see a little bit of everything in there. Actually, I think I'm gonna move my mango rose and place them on top of each other. That way I have room for our beautiful kiwi right here. I was so proud. I kind of carved this with little zigzags. It just looks more interesting. Place it right here. And then we'll fill in the gaps with some blueberries, more orange chunks, and some strawberries. You just want everything to be bright and colorful and appealing so that it's Instagram worthy for your IG stories, right? Today we're gonna be making a Thai-inspired noodle salad. So for this pasta salad dressing, we're gonna make it a peanut sauce base. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of lime juice to a bowl, then about 3 tablespoons of creamy peanut butter, 1 tablespoon of honey, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, 1 clove of minced garlic, about 2 tablespoons of neutral oil. I'm using avocado oil here just because it's a nice neutral oil, but you can use any oil that you prefer. Olive oil actually works really well too. 1 teaspoon of minced ginger, and 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. And now we give it a mix, mix, mix. I'll mix it together until it's a nice and creamy consistency. For the peanut butter, it can be kind of tough to break down, but once you finally do, it'll move like butter. This is the consistency that you're looking for. It's glossy and creamy, and it's gonna coat the pasta strands beautifully. All right, this is done. So now we can assemble our pasta salad. So I have my large, beautiful salad bowl. I got this from Anthropology in case you guys are wondering. And I'm just gonna add my pasta in. For the pasta, I'm using linguine noodles, but if you wanted to, you could totally substitute for soba noodles or, what else is there? Like ramen noodles, really, if you wanted to. I'll add the linguine to my salad bowl, and then I'll add about a cup of shredded green cabbage, a cup of shredded purple cabbage, 1 stalk of green onions that I've chopped, 1 cup of cucumbers that I've thinly sliced and cut into half moons, about 1 cup of shredded carrots, a 1/4 cup of chopped cilantro, and now we're ready to add our dressing. But first, I want to show you how colorful this is. It's so beautiful. If you guys wanted to add more vegetables, I suggest red bell peppers, edamame beans, and then if you wanted protein, chicken, steak, or even tofu. Now I'll give it a quick toss. All right. Each strand is coated with our delicious peanut sauce, and I cannot wait to taste this. Let me get a fork and we're gonna dig in. I got a little bit of everything. Look how quick and easy that came together. If you're gonna bring this to a dinner party or a barbecue, I would garnish it with some freshly roasted peanuts, like this.